What is going on, guys? Jack here, and well, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Pascal Chimbonda, signed for Town, 41 years old. He looks good, but he is 41, and that is not a very WorkTheSpace transfer. I like my younger players. I like to develop them. Would you believe it if I said he's not the only international we've signed since you were last here? Because I've gone crazy adding players. I've gone absolutely nuts. If we just have a look here, David Vaughn has joined us, the Welsh international with 42 caps. I mean, look at this man. Ignore the physicals, but look at the balance. The rest aren't there. The balance is good. If we get him on a high rope, he's going to be good at balancing, and I believe he does trapeze in his free time. But besides that, his mentals and technicals are very, very good. So yes, 2 new additions to the team. They're not the only ones, and well, observant viewers may have noticed on this screen here, where's Ferguson? Where is Ferguson? Fantastic question. He's left us. He's gone to Clitheroe. He's the kind of player who I would love to sign back at some point in the future. But yes, he's gone to Clitheroe, who play in the Bet Victor Division 1 North West. And he's playing centre mid for them. They are currently 3rd in their division. I'm not sure exactly what tier this is. I think it must be 1 tier above us. If I'm going to guess, it might even be 2 tier above us. I don't know. I wish I knew the tiers better than I do. Either way, he's left us. And I'm feeling very, very sad about it. Because he was our captain. And the other players left us. A little less. Do you get see what I did there? Little less. Because it's Mbutty. Yeah, he's small. Jermaine Defoe size. Anyway, he's left us. He's gone to Nelson. 1 strength, 5 jumping reach. I want to say we'll miss him, but that would probably be a lie. He did okay for us, but in truth, he's not that great. So, yeah, Ferguson the big miss there. But on the ins, I have made multiple transfers. In fact, since you were last here, they are the transfers I've made, ladies and gentlemen. I've snapped, and, well, I'm afraid, North Ferriby, you have bared the brunt of this. Basically, I've got so many players who are consistently being tapped up. You can see here just a few more of our players being tapped up. Luke Ferguson obviously has left us. Ryan Ferguson had some offers for him. Romario Vieira's had some offers for him. He rejected them, which was a bit of a miracle because I think it was Ebbsfleet who came calling. But yeah, players are basically getting poached away. And as a result, I've kind of got the mindset of I need to just try and sign players now. You know, basically, before I lose players, have the players in the squad to replace them. So that's exactly what we've done with some of our signings, which it feels a little bit odd for the last game of the episode, and of the season, the last game of the first season, to be me going, hey, we've signed a load more players. But that's exactly what we've done. So besides Chimbonda and Vaughn, we've signed Jerome Jolly from Brig. So we're going to have Sonny on one side and Jolly on the other. This guy, a left winger who can also play left back. Definitely a quite good defensive player. You know, his finishing not so great, but actually defensively superb. And also, just as an out-and-out winger, very, very good as well. So expect to see this guy feature a little bit, I think, in the team. He's definitely going to be a useful player for us. We also signed here Addons from North Ferriby, one of 4 players we signed from them. I was looking through, you know, teams in the same tier as us and who were doing quite well. I spied North Ferriby, and I said, you know what, North Ferriby, I want your players. So Sam is one of those players that we have signed. And as you can see here, we've signed a few more, including, well, Undoa, Piercy and Emerton. You can see North Ferriby here. I was stalling to wait for it to load. They are currently top of their league. They're in the same tier as us. I feel a little bit bad stealing some of their players, but at the same time, needs must. So yeah, Addons, good little centre mid. Very good ball-winning midfielder, if I might say so. And his physicals are absolutely superb for this level. We also signed Ondoa, another strength in depth option, a striker, 19 years old, capped for Cameroon's under-20s national team. So, I mean, that must mean great things, surely, right? But yes, I think next year I'm going to be looking to play a 4-4-2 of some kind, or at least 2 strikers, and he fits quite nicely into the team in that regard. We signed Cameron Park. He was actually a free agent, a player who is a former Scottish under-21 international, so we're slowly but surely getting a bit of Scottish representation in the team. He can play centre mid, he can play out on the left as well. Just a very, very good player, to be honest, for this kind of level. Will be more of a backup option, but yeah, good to have. And the last 2 players we signed, James Piercy, a centre-back option. With us losing Mbutty, I wanted to get someone in to replace him. Piercy is the man who I think is going to do that. If we just compare the two head-to-head, yes, Mbutty was a bit better defensively and a little bit quicker, but I feel like in terms of smarts, physicality, and also just pure ability in the air, James here is going to be a better backup centre-back for us. And the last player we've signed, Danny Emerton, a player who I actually really, really rate. 28 years old, he's got pace, he's got dribbling, and I think he could be a really good winger for us, and I'm going to be training him to play inverted winger out on the left. You can see here, though, a real little superstar as far as I'm concerned for this level, and well, you might have noticed with these transfers, the average age is a little older in our squad now as a result of some of these dealings we've been doing, but I do feel like that is going to play into our hands. So anyway, we have played games since you were last here, but of course this is going to be the end of season livecom, and well, despite completely screwing things up in the last couple of games, we do actually go into the last game of the season with a chance at the title. Obviously, last time out, we took on Bedlington. Since then, you can see a 2-0 win against Brandon, Greenwood and Sonny Best with the goals. Then a bore draw against Durham City. Another clean sheet. Our 4th in a row came against Carlisle City. You can see Knowles grabbing a brace, which was really good to see. Him kind of getting off the mark, the 17-year-old. And well, following on from that, finally, the postman gets off his goal-scoring lull. Yes, he'd been quite a long time without a goal. He got a hat-trick to break it in a 4-1 win against Eschwinning. And then in our most recent 2 games, whilst we have been scoring a few goals, defensively, not so great. We have conceded 2 against West Allotment in a 2-2 draw, and against Brighton and Crawkirk, we lost 3-2. Although you can see here, Addy Wussy got a goal, which was absolutely superb, as did Jerome Jolly. So, yeah, despite the fact we've not done so great, I'm still feeling quite jolly because the players we've signed have actually made an impact. You can see, if we just look at how our team is lining up, this is the team I've kind of been using. I have also been playing Vaughn as a centre mid on support. And in fact, I think we will play him in today's game. So, yes, there's been a few new, first team additions to the team. Donnelly Blackburn is unfortunately out, suspended to end the season. So Jolly is going to come in and immediately play at left back. Obviously, Chimbonda, just a bit of experience as much as anything. His average rating of 6.95, whilst not particularly great, is still better than what our other centre-backs have been doing in the past. Michaela this year has been really, really underwhelming, and whilst I've promoted him to captain this year, because he's just not doing anything for us, it brings in Emerton and also Jolly into the first team, I feel like, to take on his role. You can see here a direct comparison of Emerton and Michaela. I think it would be safe to say he is an upgrade, Danny, and well, hopefully he's going to do the business for us as part of a more experienced team. Of course, Romario Vieira and David Vaughn in the centre midfield, Roy Loy, formerly known as Rory, at centre attacking mid, and of course, fan favourites, the postman and Sonny Best, still at the team. And whilst, well, one Ferguson might have left us, Ryan remains. And you know what? Because he's now the last Ferguson standing, he can have his name back. We're going to grant him that wish. So he will return. Of course, today we are going to be taking on Berkeley Town. Our form, as you can see, to end the year has been pretty poor, but by comparison to Bedlington, it's been absolutely fantastic. They have just, I don't know what they're doing. I'm going to be honest. We beat them. They got on a little bit of a recovery mission. And then whilst we've been slipping up, they've also been slipping up. Which in some ways makes the fact that we've slipped up more annoying, because we could have the title wrapped up if we'd won our remaining games of the year. But it does mean that today, whilst they take on Washington, and we take on a team whose name I can't remember, Berkeley Town, we know that we could still get top of the table because there is 1 point in it. So yes, today we're going to go straight into this game. You guys can let me know what you make of our transfer business. If you are a North Ferriby fan, I am sorry. I have pulled your team apart, but they had some very, very good players for this level. And of course, they are a team who were top of their division and close enough in geographic location, their players were willing to join us, which was a little bit of a bonus. And, well, it made just sense that whilst all the big teams are poaching our players, we might as well just try and poach players from teams in and around us whilst we can. So anyway, let's get into this. At home against Berkeley Town, I want to win the league. It will forever haunt me if we finish second this year. You know, every day that we look at Tolaw Town's league position history, whilst we'll have the glowing green of a promotion, we'll also know that it could have been the top of the league. The dot on the little graph, it won't be quite at the top. It will irk me to no end. It will provide a constant reminder to the failure that was this season. I feel like failure for this season is a little bit of a harsh analysis, but it could have been better. And well, we'll hope that we can end it on a high with a win here. We should be winning this. Of course, our fate is not in our own hands. We need stuff to go our way. As Loy is there, saved Emerton. Take a bow, Danny boy. He's already done what Michaela couldn't for a very long time. Michaela, I think, has 6 goals and 6 assists all year. Now, Danny does have 7 goals this season. Most of them haven't been at us. This is, I believe, his first goal for the club. And, well, lots of our players getting involved. Chimbonda with the ball at the back. Roy having the effort. And it was parried to Emerton. And, well, Danny boy, former Hull City man, they call him the Tiger. Every time he scores, they play the Eye of the Tiger. He gets it. Vaughn to whip it in. And I'll tell you what, David Vaughn, by the way, 37 years old, the Welsh international, has a fantastic wand of a foot for putting in crosses and free kicks. So keep an eye out for that as Emerton uses his pace to keep it in. Plays it inside to Jolly. Dinks it forward to Ferguson. Oh, it's a great save by Jones in goal. It would have been offside. So, well, we can't get too carried away. I realise that we've not got up the latest scores in the league. We need to keep an eye, obviously, on what's going on around us. If things stay as they are, we could win the league. Our fate not in our own hands, so we just need to do what we can here. And, yeah, let's get up the league table if we can, and also the latest scores. So, league table, we are currently ahead of Bedlington, who are drawing. I need to find good corners to put all this stuff. And latest scores, this is when it gets intense. You know, stuff's getting real in Football Manager when you're sorting out all the different panels on your screen. Where are Bedlington? They're right at the very bottom, which is going to be annoying because every time a goal is scored, this whole widget scrolls. Anyway, Emerton trying to get the ball in. Can't beat Horwood. I want to win the league, everyone. I want to be like, yeah, promotion. But promotion's been on the cards pretty much all season. To win the league would be a cherry on top. And, well, I thought that ball was about to fly into the bottom corner from Hunt. An effort from range, swings just wide. A little bit of a let-off perhaps there. Right, what can we do? Pascal Chimbonda, 41 years old, to David Vaughn. We've gone from looking like a nursery to looking like a retirement home in the dressing room as Ferguson's threaded forward. He should finish that. He doesn't finish it. It's kind of a little bit shocking, isn't it? I feel like the good thing about all the transfer business I've been doing, and as I said, a lot of it has almost been reacting ahead of other transfers happening. My anticipation for players to leave during the summer and, just in general has meant that I've done business early before the season's ended. I hope that means I'm not going to be as busy in the summer. Oh my gosh, I mean, that's a foul. It looked like Ferguson got murdered. He's going to take the penalty. He's had some chances in this game. This is going to be his best chance that he gets all game to get on the score sheet. Can he deliver? No. I mean, that's why we've removed the nickname for Ferguson of the Postman. Because he doesn't deliver. You've seen it there. Right, Vaughn whips it back. Chimbonda, oh my gosh. They've got chemistry. I don't care what anyone says. Vaughn and Chimbonda, they've got an understanding. There's been a goal as well. Washington have taken the lead against Bedlington. Go on, Washington. If they win, a draw would be enough, I believe, for us to win the league. Emerton, I mean, I want to win the game, let's be clear. Could he get his second of the game? Of course he can! Maybe experience is what we needed this whole time, everyone. Maybe we just needed a 41-year-old centre-back, a 37-year-old centre-mid, and a player in his late 20s on the wing. I mean, this bodes well for next season. One thing that's definitely worth remembering, and I say remembering like people will know this, people might not know this, in this lower league kind of area of English football, the quality difference between all the different leagues is pretty minute. There is not a great deal of difference. Teams do back-to-back promotions. Now, what is worth remembering is the fact that next year, the league that we're in, only one team gets promoted. It's going to be an incredibly competitive season. But I really, really like the core of the team we've got here. I don't feel like we've ever quite got a tactic that's clicked just yet this year. As I said, next year, I'm thinking about a 4-4-2 of some kind, or a two-striker formation. But at the same time, things have ended quite well here. It's been, kind of comfortable in the end. There was a point where it was very, very competitive at the top of the table. We actually wrapped up promotion a couple of games ago now. Obviously, you've seen the way that we've slipped up and Bedlington have slipped up. It would be the bottle jobs of all bottle jobs, I feel like, if they lost their last game of the year and we won the league as a result. Of course, a draw would actually be enough for us if the score stays as it is. I don't want to be haunted by that 1 second place finish. That would annoy me. I want to win the league, and well, at the moment at least, we're on course to do it. Roy Loy whips it in. Ferguson's not there, falls to Vaughn. To Roy! I mean, we're just gonna call him Roy, even if his name's Rory. He's Roy in our hearts. Roy, he's our boy. I'm trying to think of a line now that involves Loy, and I can't do it. Roy, he's our boy. Finish the rhyme in the comments. What? We need a chant. Roy, he's our boy. I don't know. Second line. You guys are more creative than I. I'm not born to be a rapper or a poet, as you guys are seeing right here. But we're 3-0 up, everyone. And Bedlington are losing. I mean, could we take the title on the last day of the season? It would be what dreams are made of. Sonny Best. What can you do, my friend? He's the beast from the northeast. They say he's Sonny the best. The ball's whipped in all the way to Emerton. What a save that is to deny the hat-trick for the winger. Ferguson is on a 5.9. I feel like I should have subbed him off about 10 minutes ago. Potentially even after he missed the penalty. Although he's been gifted it there. Emerton. Go on, Emerton. Square it. Don't be greedy. He could have just given it to Ryan to get a confidence-boosting goal, but he went alone. And with that, Taylor Knowles is going to come in for us. I'm also going to bring in Joe Robson for Romario Vieira, who's on a booking. I'm also a little bit nervous about Chimbonda on a booking. It's his live commentary debut today. It's a big moment for any player here at Towlaw Town. When you play in a live commentary, the pressure's on a different level. The people are watching. What can Sonny Best do here? What can he do? He cuts inside. He dances past his man. What is the goalie doing is probably the best question to ask there. I don't know how to describe that sequence of events, everyone. It's non-league speciality stuff. Anyway, Bedlington still losing. What's happening here really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's all about if Washington can hold on to their 1-0 lead. This is where I wish that I had one of my scouts at that game. Then I could just call him on WhatsApp and he could video call me back so I could watch their match play out. Unfortunately, we don't have that technology in Football Manager to watch another game whilst you're watching a game. But if that was possible, I'd be all over it. We are 3 goals to the good, though, against Berkeley Town right now. And we got a corner here. Right, what can Sonny Best do? He pings it in, and Roy's there for another goal to his name. We've got 2 players on hat-tricks. It's 4-0. I should say, Berkeley Town, they are second from bottom, so they are the punching bag of the league, along with Brandon, who I still remain adamant that Brandon, I will make an affiliate club at some point and save them and get them promotions. Because I've seen them suffer this year. They've always been at the bottom of the table. My heart's always sank a little bit. Unfortunately, we can't win by enough goals here to see Berkeley Town drop behind them. But considering they had 3 points after about 20 games, they've had a recovery of sorts in the second half of the season. And for that, they deserve some credit. Okay, they've just had a player sent off Bedlington. Surely that's it then. 5 minutes left. They need 2 goals in their game to win the league. Robson, fresh off the bench, tries to play through Knowles, but who also is fresh off the bench. He does win the ball back, and well, that would have been a terrific little finish from there. Hit the woodwork, goes out. One last team talk to end the season. Look at that, the players looking focused. And ladies and gentlemen, it's happened very, very quickly, but we have won the league. We have won the league on the last day of the season. It is not going to haunt me. What a performance that is. We suffocated Berkeley Town for the entirety of that game. They did absolutely nothing. And we do come out on top. And with that, we get promotion, which we already knew we had. But we win the league. Is there going to be prize money on the offer? I don't know what kind of prize money what I should expect, if there is any prize money. I want to believe there is. Of course, don't go anywhere, because with it being the last episode of the season, with this series, we're going to do a little bit of a recap, look back on the season. There's a few things I also want to talk about that have happened that you guys haven't seen. So we'll talk about that. But yes, the board are delighted. It's our first piece of silverware. We received £5,000 for a first place finish. Roy Loy, 2 goals, 2 assists. Who needs Kelledy? We've got Roy. He's our boy. I need to get more. Come up with the second line of the chant. It doesn't really work. Anyway, we've paid out $3,000 to all our players as a bonus. They're loving it. So I talked about little things going on off the pitch. Oh, by the way, here's all the players who got medals. Who was the highest average rating in the year? It was Roy. An 8.05 average rating in the league. What a signing he turned out to be. Sonny Best, 17 goals, 18 assists. What a player. What a player. And you can see the rest of the players who performed pretty well here. Brownhill played a handful of games for the 16-year-old. You can see Emerton only played 3 games, But those 3 games he shined in, and he did stuff in, which bodes well. And, well, what a squad we have here. It's a variety of ages, some young, a few old, and actually the oldies, when you look at it, put in some of the best performances at the end of the year. Maybe experience is what we needed all along, and maybe I need to buck my trend of liking to sign young players and sign less fashionable players. Speaking of signing less fashionable players, there is one player I've got my eye on. I'm trying to sign Jack Rodwell, which might seem like a mad option, but look, he's interested in being talked to. He just wants £9,000 a week, which, well, no, not even a week. That's an appearance fee. I don't have that kind of money, Jack, but come back to me soon. So yes, I mentioned a few things I want to talk about that have happened off the pitch before we wrap up this season. First and foremost, a little update of our manager profile. Obviously, we've got a new contract until the end of next year. We already knew about that. That got signed back in October. You can see our career stats down here. Obviously, a little bit of silverware at Towler Town as well. You can see what we are known for. So we're known for playing attacking football, preferring a possession-based style of play, playing entertaining football, wanting a high-tempo pressing game, signing players with a high reputation, signing younger players, signing much younger players, signing very younger players, preferring not to sign players approaching the second half of their careers. I feel like I'm reformed in that regard. That's going to change. You can see he prefers not to sign players who are past their best, preferring not to sign players approaching the end of their careers. The same thing I've learned at the end of this year is the fact that maybe actually some old players aren't such a bad idea in our team. If we just look at attributes here, they have improved on the whole. And as you can see in the top right, we are currently studying for a new coaching licence. Obviously, when we started things, these were all at 1, if I'm not mistaken, with the exception of fitness coaching. A few of them have climbed to the dizzying heights of 2. And obviously, once we get our coaching badge, hopefully they might improve a little bit more. This is going to be something that we keep an eye on my manager profile as we jump between teams. Or if we just stay at Towler Town, it is going to become significant. And when we do jump between teams, there is kind of staff that I would like to bring along with me. And that brings me on to my next little bit of news, because we have a new assistant manager, Craig Fletcher, 30 years old, so quite a young assistant, but for this level, an exceptional assistant. You can see here, playing career, played way back when for Doncaster, then played for Brig, had a few other teams he played for before retiring. And yeah, he's now joined us as our assistant manager, which I think is a really, really good appointment. Obviously, 30 years old, contract to the end of next year. And he could be a player who, well, a player, no, not a player. He could be a staff member who just comes along with us for the ride. You can see our coaching staff on the whole. There's a few players here who I've not been able to renew the contracts of just yet. A few of these are guys who have signed new contracts. A few like Tuttle here. Good coaches. Well, okay coaches is not the right word. Okay scouts is what I'm trying to say. But he wants to go to a more prestigious club. So there might be a little bit of turnover in terms of staff. But actually, looking at it, the bulk of our staff members have signed contracts now until the end of next year. So things are looking okay there. In terms of next year, of course, we're going to be going up a league now. We're going to be going into Tier 9, where if I'm not mistaken, we will start playing, I want to say, in the Champions League. Champions League, not the Champions League, the FA Cup is what I mean to say. I'm hoping that we're going to get to the end of season news items somewhere, because I feel like it would be quite good to look through our best 11 and stuff. And in fact, what I'll do, folks, we'll cut here. I'm going to go forward. We'll have a quick look through the squad one last time, have a look at the, the awards that get given out, all that good stuff. I'm not sure when that's going to be. Our season's ended kind of early in April. But yeah, we'll go forward. End of season recap coming your way in just a moment. Right, folks, of course, I go forward one day and immediately all the awards start coming in. You can see here our annual awards. So, Sonny Best, Fans Player of the Year. You guys can let me know who your Fan Player of the Year would have been. I'm inclined to agree. I think he was our best signing. He was also our best young player. Goal of the season went to Mark Kelledy. I have a feeling that we watched this goal just the last episode, but let's relive it one last time. I did say we would never see Kelledy in a towel or shirt ever again, but, well, I've lied. He picks up the ball at the halfway line, dances past one player, brings it forward and just smashes it into the bottom corner. I mean, fair play to him. Not a bad little finish, that one. In terms of stats, Ryan Ferguson, top goal scorer with 32 goals. Sonny Best, 7.64 average rating is absolutely nuts. He only really played, if I'm not mistaken, as a attacking midfielder for us. You can see, yeah, right mid, he played 40 times. We tried him on the left. It didn't really work, but yeah, it's a shame he can't play a little bit deeper, because I feel like with a 4-4-2, if I want to get the most out of Sonny Best, in a 4-4-2, I'm going to have to play with, the wider midfielders higher up the pitch, which could be tricky to fit in. I think this off-season I'm going to experiment with things and see where we end up. But yes, he won all the awards. Callum O'Neill got the best pass completion. I mean, shout out to our goalkeeper for the first half of the season. He might only be 172 centimetres tall, but he's a good passer of the ball, apparently. Ferguson got most player of the matches. Greenwood, 18 yellow cards. And we only got 2 red cards all year. But 18 yellows. 18 yellows in 39 games. That's got to be some kind of record. He loves a tackle. Look at that. That's the face of someone who gets 18 yellows in a year. Our season review here, you can see, scarce pundits would have been brave enough to pluck us out of mid-table obscurity in pre-season and mark us out for bigger and better things, but we did exactly that. Good signings, Jack. Good job, all in all. You can see here the overall look of the season. Our average attendance, 147 people. That is 4% full. Not ideal. Our attendance kind of limit is 3,000 in terms of stadium capacity. Although the club's record, I believe, is over 6,000 for an FA Cup draw against Mansfield. Plucking that out of thin air. I think I read about that online. You can see we used 38 players this year. That was the most in the league. Natural kind of circle of life, I guess, with just the high turnover of players we had. In terms of budgets, the board have set a wage budget of £3,500 a week and a transfer budget of £40,000 a week. I mean, are we going to be able to sign any players on actual contracts with that? I don't think we are. Anyway, you can see here, this is what the board want. I mean, lots of this stuff we can kind of do. I will try and make more of set pieces, although I've struggled with that a lot this year. And they expect us to fight bravely against relegation next year. I'm going to accept that, but in all honesty, I feel like we should be getting promoted next year, or at least challenging at the top of the table. Billingham have made an offer for Sam Greenwood. Sam, please stay with me. I've already got a contract offer pending with him, I guess, because another club's already approached him, and it's how I keep hold of my players. But yeah, what a first season it's been. I want to say it's been a roller coaster. My biggest relief, in truth, is the fact that Sonny Best and Ryan Ferguson are still with us. I feel like with a series like this, you get quite attached to individuals as well as the team as a whole. And if I'd lost either of those, I would have been a little bit heartbroken, I'm not going to lie. You can see here, lots of our lots of our players happy that we improved the coaching staff and also got promoted, which I promised a few of them. The board have announced construction work on the new youth facilities. That's £180,000. That lowers our overall balance quite a bit. This year we made a loss. You can see from 283,000 to 215,000. So we lost about £70,000 during the season. I'm probably going to have to do another pre-season tournament like last year just to keep the money coming in. And we'll then invest that again in the facilities quite a lot. We did have our youth intake, by the way, which we've had 2 players recommended to sign. I mean, just to give you an idea of their quality, here is Nigel Gardner. And here is Chris Nelson. Yeah, we had an intake. None of the players are of any use whatsoever. Although apparently the candidates enjoyed a big win over the under-18s. So that bodes well, doesn't it? Ferguson broke the goal scoring record for Towlaw Town with 32 goals in the season, best with assists. And hopefully these will be beaten over the years. And also Callum Roberts, 9 clean sheets in the second half of the season for us. Obviously, you can see 9 clean sheets in 14 games. We solved our defensive problems in the second half of the season. And I think that's one of the reasons that we ended up winning the league, albeit with a little bit of luck on the last day of the season. We really did tighten things up, particularly in January and February. So clearly the signing of Roberts spurred something on. And I think along with our tactical tweaks, and of course this guy. This guy, he could become a cult hero. I would love for him to become a staff member. Can I interact? Advice, recommend future staff role. You should be a coach, mate. Come be a coach with us. I can make myself available now if you'd like. Yeah, go on then, Pascal. I've never seen that line in Football Manager before. We don't have a spot for a coach. Can I might have to sack a coach because I want him as a coach. I'm going to be honest. And now this would be the perfect end to the first year to get Pascal Chimbonda as a coach for us. I'd like him to be a player coach because he's actually quite good as a player as well. He's made himself available now. Let's have a look. What are his staff attributes going to be? They're actually okay. I know that might seem weird to say. Regular starter's fine. Negotiate contract. Player/coach. Can we lower his appearance fee? I think we might have issues because I can't offer him a wage. Okay, he doesn't want to be a staff member just yet, but down the line, we'll try and make it happen. What about you, David? David, come here. You've not thought about it yet. Let's have a little bit of advice. You should be a coach too. I saw a coach in you. You want to be a loan manager. No one grows up to be a loan manager, David. No one wants to be a loan manager. That's fake news. Right. That's going to wrap up this first season for us. What a first season it has been. Let me know your player of the series so far. Next episode, I have no idea what's going to be happening. We're going to need to do a pre-season tournament because otherwise our finances are going to be in shambles. I don't feel like we need to go too crazy in the transfer market. I feel like some of the late additions that we've made at the end of this year are going to be big impact players for next year, particularly players like Danny Emerton, for example. I feel like Ryan Ferguson, maybe he'll get dislodged by Knowles this coming year. He's only 17. He looks very good, doesn't he? We'll wait and see. It's all ifs and buts and maybes. Hopefully I see you guys next time for the start of season number 2. If you've got any ideas and thoughts of how we can, maybe do these end of season recap episode kind of things where it's just, a bit of a bow tied on things, let me know. I could definitely talk more about the season as a whole, but I feel like for most of you guys, it's only been a 7-episode season. You know what's happened. But if there's any little nuggets of bits that we could talk about that I've not, please let me know. And a massive thank you as well if you've got to the end of the video. With these kind of videos, I know people tune off after the match. Appreciate it if you've stuck until the end. Let me know what you made of our transfer dealings, player of the year. Drop a like if you've enjoyed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Season 2, it's going to be a cracker.